Hi guys, in this PUBG Vikendi solo chicken dinner I'm going to be walking through the tactics that I'm going to be using hopefully tomorrow in the new Battlefield 5 Battle Royale mode, Firestorm. So as you can see, the flight path was south to sort of northeast, so the idea behind this strategy called the D23 strategy, from when we used to play on Erangel a lot, in Miramar, where you need to get a car. You don't need to get a car on Vikendi, but it's to fly a long way at right angles from the flight path of the plane, as far as you can fly. Get a vehicle if you can to get even further, so you can loot up in peace. And then you take a close look at the circle, and then you make your way back into the circle on the quiet side. So I'm very lucky. The circle is very kind to me on this one, and we were into sort of the last half of the game now. This is a good example of where sound, although important, you can't always trust it, because I didn't hear that guy until I saw him in my peripheral vision on the screen, and then he ran past me. He just didn't see me, and so I track him down and kill him. This is also the last solo chicken dinner I will be, well, probably this is the last solo game I'll be playing on PUBG on the PlayStation and the Xbox, or the mobile, before the release of Firestorm, because at this time now, what time is it now? It's 4:30 in the afternoon on the 24th of March 2019. So what I'll be doing next is I'll be playing probably some squads, to do that, and then as soon as Firestorm is out, we'll be playing that an awful lot. Of course, if it turns out to be a load of junk, please don't be a load of junk. Please let it be at least almost as good as PUBG. We're going to be playing an awful lot of Firestorm, because the initial footage we've seen from the people who've flown out to DICE and been allowed to play it, but are kind of a little bit drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to the criticism they've given to it. In fact, I don't think they're probably allowed to criticise it. That was probably part of the deal that allowed them to get that early footage. It looks really, really good, and it looks like it has the potential to be fantastic and a true competitor to PUBG in terms of realistic Battle Royale mode. So anyway, we're into the last 10 minutes of the chicken dinner now. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm just working the very edge of the circle. As soon as a new circle appears, I pop down a mark in the middle, so I know roughly which direction I'm going to be going in. And I also look down. Did you see that chap? I didn't see that chap just to the left of that rock up there, but I do hear him in just a second. What you're doing is you're looking at the map, the big map and the mini map as well, looking at the terrain, looking at the topography, and also relating it to where the flight path was, and thinking, where are most people going to be? So if you remember, the flight path was from the south to the northeast, so, and the circle is sort of northwest of that. So I know the quiet side of the circle is the side of the circle that I'm on. I just saw that guy run up, so I get the height advantage. Managed to potato my aim to start off with, but then get my barrel back on track, and so I'm trying to work my way in on the quiet side, just thinking, right, where can I hear the gunfire? So if there's gunfire, there's people over there. Where's there open terrain where I can see people, where I can see if the circle is clear, and how can I work my way in? And now I'm also only taking shots if I really need to, because as soon as you fire, if you haven't got a suppressed weapon, that's it, you're giving away your position to other people, and they'll be looking in your direction. Now, as I'm looking at that map, I'm thinking, right, we've got the town on the left hand side, or the western side, and we've got this open area on the eastern side. I really want to avoid going through the town to get to the circle, so I'm just working my way around these rocks. And what you're doing is, and all of this hopefully will be able to apply for Firestorm, well, I know it will, you're looking at edges of things. You're looking at the edges of trees and the edges of rocks, because that's where you'll see people poking out, looking around, because people hide behind rocks and behind trees. I know that sounds obvious, but if you can train your eyes to look at the edges of trees and the edges of rocks and the tops, you'll start to pick people up earlier. And again, we're just playing the edge. We're slowly coming in with the blue. At the moment, we don't know how fast the fire comes in on Firestorm, whether we'll be able to creep in like this, or maybe we'll have to run in earlier to avoid getting caught in the Firestorm. But on Vikendi, on PUBG, it can go fairly slowly. So I'm just coming in, and again we get to the edge of the circle, and then when we get into the edge of the circle, we're looking for cover. We're looking for somewhere to stop, where we can then look around and then decide to make our next move. As you can see, the blue's coming in very, very slowly, and I'm just kind of edging around this rock, seeing where the best place is, where I can get in and wait for the next circle to appear. I'm very nervous that in front of me down that hill and behind those rocks there could be somebody down there, because I can't see them. So I'm in here, so I'm just waiting for the blue to come in. So next circle has appeared. I'm going to hang around here for a little bit, but then when we look at the map, what it becomes obvious is people are probably the people to my right, or there's going to be lots of people in that town, because people go to towns. That's where they love to be, because they love to sit in houses and think they're safe. So all those people there, remember there's 8 people left, they're going to be coming out of that town. So I make the decision here to go early, to get into the circle early, so I'm not behind these people. A lot of the time the best move is to move in late, to be the last person to move so you can see everybody else. But in this case, I think no, if I wait for them to get to position, I'm going to be running into them. As you can see, as you'll see in a moment, it doesn't quite go to plan. You'll notice that I'm crouch walking as well and crouch running. The idea is to keep my profile low, but also to keep my sound bubble. Now I see this guy in front of me. This guy may be AFK. I think he might have been AFK because he wasn't moving very much, was he? But anyway, it was a kill, takes us up to 3 kills, so I'm kind of happy with that. Now I'm moving in. Now I'm looking for cover. Where's the cover? Now I start taking fire here from my left and from behind me. So I've got nowhere to go. So I run back, get behind this rock here. Very lucky, and I heal up. And the other guy is behind there. Here he comes. I make an error now. I make a decision to engage him with my AR, and I get a few bullets into him. Maybe if I'd engaged him with my M16 with my 4x scope on, I might have killed him. So again, I think, right, I'm very worried that there's people behind me going to be shooting me, so I throw a smoke at him so he can't see me, and then I back off. I move out towards where the blue's coming from, because I think that people might be coming from behind me, and if I stay where I am, I'm going to get shot in the back. So I make this tactical move. It's also good whenever you've been shot at, when someone knows where you are, to move anyway. Because often the clever players, when they know somewhere is, and they know you've been injured, for example, they will push you, so they will run towards you. So if you're in a different position, you can see them do it. Now he's peeking me. We're both going to get caught in the blue here. He runs. I mean, I get quite a few hit markers there. If he doesn't go down, then he starts firing at me. And it's like run. And again, you could argue that I'm pretty lucky, but I know there's a bit of cover here that's made up, and the new circle has appeared in front of me, sort of towards this town, towards the edge of Goroka. 5 people left, including myself. And again, you'll notice I'm right on the edge of the circle. We're playing the edge of the circle. And this is something I'll be doing in Firestorm an awful lot. From the look of the Firestorm map, there is loads of cover, there's rocks, there's trees, there's bushes that we can be able to use this tactic with. And just because you're playing the edge doesn't mean you're playing campy. I've got 3 kills already. We do that. Now, before we kind of get into the end game, I want to also mention this. So this is what I call the D23E strategy for solos. Now there's also something called PCTI, which is playing the centre and then improvising. Playing the centre then improvising is where, and when we get to know the Firestorm map, we'll kind of get an idea of where we want to go. But with play the centre, what you'll do is when the plane flies over in Firestorm, remember the first circle appears, or at least it will be for the first iteration of Firestorm. The first circle is there. You'll pick a building near the middle, or an area near the middle, and you'll drop there and then pick up your equipment. And then make a decision based on where the next circle goes, or what buildings you've got around you, or where people are. You'll then make your move then to move around the map. So that's playing the centre, then improvising. The big advantage of doing that is that it gives you a lot more gun practice, which is probably what we'll need if the guns feel a little bit different to the multiplayer. What you're giving up, though, if you play the centre and then improvise, is you're giving up your ability to decide your route into the circle, i.e. from the edge, because you're basically in the middle. So I would suggest a mix of those two strategies in the first few weeks of Firestorm, to get used to the guns, to get used to the feel of the game, but also to give you a good chance of winning, because Battle Royale games, there's an awful lot of luck involved. The luck of the circle, the luck of what your enemies do, the kit you pick up, the luck of a grenade going off close to you, where supply drops come down, all that sort of stuff. There's so much luck, and the way that you beat that luck is by playing the game a lot and getting to the top 10s as much as you can. Because if you can get to the top 10s as much as you can, that means you'll give yourself more opportunities to win, and you'll get into the top 10s more often if you play the edge, if you do the D23E strategy, drive to the third circle and play the edge. But basically you fly far away from the flight path and make your way in safely, like that. So anyway, it's 4 people left. It's not a very big circle. This is the final circle, which will disappear. We're not sure whether we'll get to this stage in Firestorm. It depends on the thing. Somebody else dies. So now it's a case of 10 seconds, the circle's going to disappear. So let's boost up. Let's get to full health. Let's throw a couple of Molotovs where I think those people are going to jump out of the building. So I throw a couple over here, just in case they think they're going to jump out of the window. So they'll get damaged. Now this blue chugs. This really, really hurts. So it's a case of being hyper aware now, staying ahead of the blue, looking for everybody else. Now the guy comes around that corner in front of me. There he is. He's got to come. He's got to come because the blue's chasing him in. Kill him. Now I've got to be very careful. I've got to run in. I've got to get over here to get into the centre of the blue. Where's the other guy? Is he going to jump out? What's he doing? He dies to the blue. I get the chicken dinner, and hopefully we'll be getting victories in Battlefield 5's Firestorm over the next few days as well. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put your questions and comments down below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.